All right, my Aries friends, how are you today? Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Dame, bringing you some honest astrology for August of 2020. Looking at the month ahead, we've got a wild month. August is one of my favorite months of the year, looking at the astrological calendar. Every rose has its thorn. There's a lot of transformation, a lot of personal growth, a lot of overcoming, which is really exciting this month for just about every sign. You get a great boost as the sun is in your creative fifth house of creative self-expression, as well as Mercury is going to join it as well. So there's a lot of really positive aspects going on, as well as there's some hard aspects. Again, every rose has its thorn, and we're going to see Mars, ruler of Aries, your first house here, going to start to square Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all in the 10th house of career and public image. Okay, now, again, this is difficult, but the difficulty, you come out shining on top. Okay, so this is going in a very positive direction for you, and getting the ducks in order and making sure everything is proper and taken place before taking action. Okay, and that's what the squares are going to be between Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn to Mars. Okay, so let's get right into it here. On the 3rd of the month, we have a full moon. Okay, and that's going to happen. Oh, let me pull it back a couple of hours here, right around noon. All right, there we go. 11:45, 11:46. Yeah, 11:40, 11:50 p.m. Or a.m., excuse me, we're going to have this full moon here. So Sun this month is transiting your 5th house, and not until the 22nd, it's going to hit your 6th house. So this is about your creative self-expression, right? This is who you are. This is shining the light and saying, yes, I am me, I'm here, I'm able to express and to be myself fully. Okay, you've got Chiron in your 1st house, which is going to be there for several more years. And you have Mars here that's going to be in your 1st house, in your sign, until January of 2021. Okay, and as you see here this month, I've got Eris pulled up as well, because Mars is going to conjunct Eris, and we're going to talk about that. On the 4th, let me jump back to this full moon here. Okay, so this is part of you. This is your creative self-expression. Again, this is you being playful, you being loving, you going out there and just doing you and being you. This also deals with romantic relationships, not necessarily love partnerships, long-lasting partnerships, but certainly romantic relationships. So you're getting out there, you're expressing yourself to the world, maybe dating or just being around with people that you love and people that make you feel good. Okay, so this full moon here is going to be in your 11th house, which is about the community, right? And this is also about technology, communication, understanding, a deeper sense of knowing. Okay, so our sun is highlighting our need to be a part of the community. Okay, and foreshadowing what's happening, this is the beginning. Full moons are always, the illumination for where we're headed when Leo new moon here 2 weeks later. And of course, the sun is going to be entering the sign of Virgo come the 22nd. So this is saying, like, going from building up my ego in a self happy, positive, healthy relationship with myself. And once I have this, now I move forward at the end of the month here into Virgo's 6th house, which is about the work that I'm doing for other people. Now that I'm confidently able to do this and I see what my community needs, okay, so this full moon is a foreshadow, a glimpse of what's coming, the end of August into September, okay, because it's about the work that you're going to be doing at that point, which your 6th house is empty as of right now. It will fill up as the month continues. So now on the 4th, let me move this back to days here. On the 4th, Mercury at the end of the day is going to enter the sign of Leo, where Mercury is very happy to get out of Cancer and enter the fire sign of Leo. Now Mercury is ruled by Gemini and Virgo. Mercury is going to rip through the sign of Leo quite fast. Mercury will end up moving into Virgo on the 19th of the month. Okay, so it's a very swift time for Mercury to come up here, enter again your creative self-expression. You're going to be really communicating, okay? You're going to be feeling good, looking good, feeling yourself, and then the communication that you're getting into is more you feeling alive and more like yourself than you felt in a long time, okay? Very positive energy with Mercury moving into the sign of Leo. And on the 7th, Venus is going to leave Gemini and enter the sign of Cancer, which is lovely because, again, Mercury and Venus both retrograded back in June to July, and all of July they spent moving back through that sign again. So it's really nice to have our two personal planets jumping out, you know. Like I said, here goes Mercury, and then on the 7th, there goes Venus. Now, Venus entering the sweet sign of Cancer is a lovely place for Venus to be. It's all about the emotions, it's all about the cares, it's making sure that we're communicating, Mercury communicating that which our heart desires. Okay, and our heart desires emotions and connections with other people and authenticity and all of these good things. Okay, so August is going to be full of honest communication, heartfelt communication, passionate communication, and love, 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 love. Okay, talking about the things that we love. All right, let me bring this back a couple days. On the 4th, that's the first Mars-Jupiter square. Again, that's going to happen 3 times this year. Mars is going to move forward. It'll retrograde in September and then come back out. And around December, it's going to hit these guys again. Okay, so this is the first of our squares. Mars square Jupiter. Now, we talked about the relationship between Capricorn and Aries in the August 1st video, I do believe, is either July 31st or August 1st. You know, this wants to make sure that we're packed, we're prepared, and everything is in order. This says we need to take action and move ahead, right? So there's a balance that we're going to be finding ourselves this month of, are we taking action too abruptly before all things are prepared, or are we taking too long preparing things before we bring them into action? There is a balance. There's no right or wrong here. This is all up to us to decipher, to figure out. However, what I can say for you, my Aries friends, is this is your first house. If you are an Aries rising or an Aries sun, Aries moon, okay, whatever reason you're watching this video, you identify with Aries, okay, Aries takes the initiative. Aries is the spark, okay? So oftentimes we can rush into things over here before the preparation is done, which can publicly, image-wise, make us look bad. If we show up and everything's not completed and we show up to the finish line, that's when things get hairy. Where this energy, what this is suggesting is that you're doing your due diligence, that you've done the work, that you're taking the time to prepare appropriately, and by doing so, people are going to begin to see this change that you have done. They're going to see that you are reliable, that you are not flighty, and not a flighty, fire sign, that you are certainly grounded and you are able to, manage and get everything done that needs to get done, okay? So that's on the 4th. Venus on the 7th. Mercury trine Chiron on the 9th. Okay. It'll be a little bit later. Either way, we get a really nice connection here between, again, your 5th house of creative self-expression. This is you really feeling yourself and healing some part of yourself that says, I'm not good enough, I'm not accepted, there's no point in communicating about this, there's no point in talking, saying, doing, or thinking this certain way. And this is going to say, look, you've got it going on, you're the bee's knees and everything in between, you're golden, right? So just be you, love who you are, love being yourself, and, that's it. Just love yourself. Move on. Okay? It's a really positive connection going on there this month. Now on the 10th, all the way till the 22nd of the month, we have, you see the thin line that just popped up there. So we have the Sun, 18 degrees, Mars, 22 degrees, the South Node at 26 degrees, creating a grand fire trine. Now this again is going to happen for about 12 days. Now we had a grand fire trine that was an extensive period of time back in 2017 with the North Node in Leo. Okay, 2017, it was really amping us up to remind us who we are, our mission on this planet and where we're going, okay? So we get this interesting revisit of this because it's Mars and Aries saying, yes, take action. Yes, Sun, home in Leo, Sun, me, myself, ego, expression, I am me. So it's like I am unfiltered by another sign. Sun is unfiltered, undampened, unimpressioned by another sign. Mars, unimpressioned by another sign. Okay, so we have the power of the sun in us. We have the power of Mars. Again, let's go. Let's make things happen. There's nothing holding me back right now. Well, what can hold me back if I have a brilliant idea? Tons of brilliant ideas all the time. And what holds me back? It's my thoughts. It's our thoughts. It's our thoughts of, well, could somebody else already had this idea? If somebody else already did this, or somebody's already doing this over here, or I'm not good enough to, or why would I change careers now and jump into this field? It's something about our mentality, okay? So we have the sun shining its brightest here in Leo, being its full beauty. Mars, uninterrupted. Let's go. We've got the fire, the passion, the drive, okay? Both of these now creating that trine to the south node, which is about releasing information that no longer serves us, because we're headed towards seeking new information and seeking what? Change in the mutable sign of Gemini, okay? The collective conscious has a lot of answers. I recently shared this ridiculous meme that shows a woman pointing to a bookcase and says, "Let me show you my books written by people who know absolute truth." And the bookcase is empty. It's just like nobody knows ultimate truth. Nobody knows, hard concrete philosophies on life. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of gray territory going on here. A lot of independent, personal views and opinions on things. So this here is letting go of some of that stuff and saying, okay, now I've got the fire shining in me. I've got the, my vigor, my action, my strength to carry on and move forward. And I no longer have these, well, what if thoughts that are weighing me down. And this is in your 9th house of philosophy and education and religion, as well as travel. So this is saying there might be some traveling coming up to you, for you. Or this could also be even suggesting that right now, that with that full moon that we're experiencing at the beginning of the month, that for you to seek out the information, you might not actually have to travel, but it's through technology, through computers or something like that, with that moon being in Aquarius on the 3rd. So either way, really, really cool connection. Again, this month is really starting to feel like ourselves, unfiltered, right? Really good feeling. Now, on the 13th, now we've got the Mars, Pluto square, okay? Now, Pluto is the higher octave to Mars, okay? This is about action. This is about action transformation. So this is taking action. This is actively transforming, actively changing something. And that's why Pluto moves very, very slow. And Mars, as far as our personal planets, Mars moves the slowest. As far as our outer planets, with the exception of Aries, which I have pulled up this month, Pluto moves the slowest. Okay, so these two coming into this square with one another, saying, I need to actively move forward. And for you, this is saying, I need to be me. And this is saying, well, who the heck am I? Right? Well, who am I? Who am I to myself? Who am I to my peers? Who am I to the outside world? Who am I to the people that are hiring me for my job? How does the world see me? And can the practices that I'm doing this month change how other people see who I am? Maybe they saw me as someone unreliable in the past, right? That doesn't mean that's who you have to be the rest of your life, right? So now there's this new stable kind of energy that's coming up here. All right. Really, really cool. So I'm excited for you for that. On the 17th now, the Sun and Mercury line up. We've just got so much going on this month. Sun and Mercury line up. There you go, 25 degrees. Now this is where Mercury steals the fire of the gods and gives them to people. So, this month, Mercury's got the sun at its head. So we're going toward what? This fire and passion and expression of self. And then now it's saying, look, I've got it. I'm figuring it out. I don't need the sun's light. I'm going to steal this light and move on ahead. And I'm going to jump into Virgo, which is going to happen on the 19th. Okay, so Mercury saying, I'm out of here. I've got what I need. I need to go ahead and focus on how I'm giving back. Okay. What services am I providing for the community? What services am I providing for the other people? And again, when Mercury enters here into your 6th house, this trine that's going on, as well as these squares up here to your stuff in your 10th house, this is where people start to see you shine, okay? You're not being held back anymore. You're focused on the work and how you can bring things into other people's lives, and it's really going to start to shine here. Okay, now we've got a, oops, went too fast. We've got a new moon here on the 18th. Okay, that's going to happen. Let me pull ahead a couple of hours. There you go. There you go. So right around 11 p.m., 10:30 p.m. All right, we've got a new moon in Leo. Okay, this is such an important new moon, and especially because Mercury is here as well. It's about our communication, right? Sun home in Leo, moon is home in Cancer. Okay, so the moon and the sun together, emotional needs and our ego expressing itself, shining its light in a place of consistency. Okay, Leo is the heart of the summer, the hearth that keeps on burning. It never wavers, never faults, never dims. It doesn't change. It's consistent. Okay, so this new beginning that's coming up with this new moon is reminding us, our Aries friends, to be consistent in that which we're giving, being consistent in our attitude, being consistent in our personality, in the way that we're expressing ourselves, and then we're going to get a second dose of this as everything enters Virgo, okay, because it's being unconditional. All right, so let me show you what that looks like here. So just shortly after this new moon, again about, oops, I'm set to hours. Let's go to days here. Doot. All right, Mercury's now there in the sign of Virgo. Moon's moving ahead. We've got Mars, there we go, all happen around the same time. The sun enters Virgo, Mercury's in Virgo, okay? So now this is all about how you're giving back to the community, how you're giving back to others, the work that you do to others, being very focused, being very precise in exactly what it is that you want, what it is that you're doing, precise and focused in your communication and how you're expressing yourself to others. Creating boundaries in your life is extremely important right now. Creating boundaries is extremely, extremely important for your relationships with others and for work. Okay, so start paying attention to that and how we're communicating our boundaries with other people towards the end of the month. All right. Now we see Mars here, same time, starting to square to Saturn. Okay, now this is interesting. Okay, this square is a beautiful balance the way that I look at this. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Okay, why is that? Now you take Mars and you put it in Gemini. And we talk about that MC Escher staircase. Up is down, down is left, left is right. It's confusing. The direction of where we're going is confusing. Mars in the water signs, specifically Pisces and Cancer, is difficult. We're lacking the direction. Okay? Where Saturn here, this is all about the work, all about the preparation. And it says, hey, so this is like the commanding officer. Okay? Saturn's the commanding officer and Mars is a subordinate. And it says, hey, I need you to climb that staircase. Mars says, okay, it's my job. I love climbing staircases. I love taking things into action. I love pressure. Yes, because pressure makes me get things done. And I know a lot of people work really well under pressure. Or they don't work well under pressure, but then when pressure happens, they get the results. So this now is Saturn putting pressure on Mars, saying you need to act. And this is saying, okay, I'm going to act now. Right? So whatever's going on here at the end of the month, again, this is a beautiful balance. I skipped something for you. I'm going to go back here a little bit. A couple days. So this, there you go. There she is, Mars conjunct Aries. And that's going to happen while we're in the middle of the square of Pluto and the middle of the square of Saturn. Okay, now Aries, the goddess of discord, this is about information. This is important here. We're going to have this also happen 3 times. Mars is going to conjunct Aries 3 times this year. Aries is the slowest moving dwarf outer planet that is known as of today. Okay, it takes about 520 some years to move around the sun. It has been in Aries since 1940s. Okay, slow moving elliptical planet like Pluto, dwarf planet. Okay, But Pluto is still considered a planet where this kind of isn't. It's very, I don't know, astronomers, astrologers get together. It's kind of confusing. Is this planet X? Is it the 10th planet? You know, who knows? Either way, what we consider Aries here, the goddess of discord, is about information and how we're choosing to deal with information. Okay? And we can say, I love you. And how do you respond to that? Well, if you love me back, well, it's really easy. I love you too. And if I say I love you and you don't love me back, well, that could be weird. How am I dealing with this information? You know, was that romantic? Was that, you know, let's get out of love. That's a bad example. The story of Aries, okay, is she presented an apple that said to the most beautiful one. And she presented it to the 7 muses. And the 7 muses, now the 7 muses started fighting and bickering over each other over which one was the most beautiful one. So even if this was an outside perspective of beauty, the actions that took place thereafter were far from beautiful as they're fighting with one another. That's not the way that a princess or a prince or a king or queen is going to act, you know. It doesn't matter who's the most beautiful one. The most beautiful one is not just, you know, beauty is skin deep. It's about the actions as well. We're talking about Mars, which is about actions, okay? Aries, which is about how we're perceiving information and what are we choosing to do when we get the information. So once we receive information, we respond, okay? We react. Part of Chiron's job here in Aries is to change how we're responding and acting in a sense of immaturity, or you know, a boy and girl mentality instead of man and woman mentality, or the king and queen archetype, right? So this is upping our game to this higher archetype of ourselves, so that we're not responding in the sense of you know, a monkey seeing a banana. It's going to respond. There's no frontal lobes in the monkey, and it's going to go, ooh, ooh, you know, and it's going to chase after the banana. However, if the monkey in the back of the line sees the banana before the monkey in the front of the line does, its expression of excitement is going to give away to all the other monkeys that there's a banana, okay? So that monkey that expressed it might not be the one that gets it, okay? Well, we're human beings. We have frontal lobes, which is the kind of the greatest part of human experience, okay? It's our cognitiveness, it's our consciousness, okay? So how we choose to deal with, how we choose to react to things is extremely important. And as an Aries, this being in your first house, if you're a Sun or Aries rising, this month and this rest of this year dramatically impacts you to how you respond to things. Okay, Aries is the head, can be hot-headed, you know, as a fun thing. That's a, you know, why do we yell? We yell when someone's far away. Why do we yell when someone's this close to our face? When we're far away from ourselves, right? So Mars connecting with Aries this month is really, well, for the rest of the year, this is going to happen. I mean, it cannot escape this during the retrograde. It's going to retrograde at 28 degrees, which is only 4 degrees off of this conjunction. Okay, so Mars-Aries conjunction will be with us for several months. Okay, this is learning how we are responding and reacting to things. So it's going to be fun. You know, again, every rose has its thorn, right? Let's go back to the chart here. Now we jumped ahead. That's right. Sun in Virgo, we talked about that. It's all about the work that we're doing for other people. And then the Mars square Saturn. Yeah, that's kind of the end of our month here, okay? That's the last bit of our month is Mars square Saturn and saying yes and orders, and, you know, reminding us again that this it's a day-by-day practice. This month is a day-by-day. You know, what we're doing today, what we do when we choose to open up our eyes, and how we are choosing to live will affect us and the big outcome of how people view us. That's why I keep circling around these three. It's so important. We'll never get these three together like this again for the rest of our lives. It's just a unique thing. It's in Capricorn. We will never get these together in Capricorn, you know. Anyway, so my Aries friends, that in a nutshell, is your month ahead. You know, stick with us when we're doing the dailies. Obviously, I'm going to dig into these aspects a lot deeper. I'm going to talk about the Lionsgate opening on August 8th, which I didn't get into in here. There's just too much to talk about. I want to try to keep this informative and as short as possible. But there's so much happening this month, it's almost impossible to do that. So either way, you have a huge month ahead of you. Huge of expressing yourself, of fully being you, fully being, you know, alive and expressing your heart, expressing yourself without the filter of the world saying you should or shouldn't do this. Okay, so this is a huge month of growth ahead of you, and how people are going to perceive you and watch you grow and the work that you do is astounding. Okay, so it's a pleasure. I love my Aries friends. Truthfully, one of my best friends in the world is an Aries. Aries Sun, Aries Mercury, Aries Venus. I'm Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Venus, Capricorn Mercury, Venus, Sun. We're square to each other. We have the best relationship in the world. So when I look at this stuff happening between Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, and Saturn, you know, this is about balance for the better of everything, you know, moving your life into this great place of like knowing when to act, knowing when to pause and be methodical, and when to prepare and when to take the preparations into action. You know, you're going to come out shining on top. So truly have a beautiful month of August ahead, and we will see you tomorrow for the dailies.